So we finally made it to Copaiba, one of my favorite oils. Now, it's relatively recently that doTERRA has launched this on the world. It's come in many years in the sourcing and developing so that they had enough. When they first launched it, they had a stockpile big enough to supply what they anticipated the need would be for an entire year. But in fact, it sold out in 1 month. It was way more popular than even they had wildly anticipated. So why is it so popular? Well, the main reason is because it's so super high in BCP, which is beta-caryophyllene. BCP is a relative of CBD. So as you know, CBD has become mainstream and is all over the place and available in mainstream stores and added to all sorts of products. And everybody seems to know what CBD is, which is a cannabinoid. So the endocannabinoid is rarely studied. Most doctors would not know about it. It would be very briefly studied, if at all, in standard medical practice. But the amount of research now being done into the endocannabinoid system. So this is, endo means within, and the cannabinoids, the system within our body that links to so many other systems, especially the CNS, the central nervous system, and the endocrine system. So it really works with our hormones and our emotions, and which in turn work with every other system, our immune system. Powerful. It's a powerful catalyst in our body, and finding ways to support this system are hugely beneficial to us in so many ways, mentally, physically, emotionally. So the doTERRA searched long and hard, knowing there was a huge demand in the world for CBD oil. They also did not want to get involved with CBD because of the THC content, so the tetrahydrocarbons. So this is the content of the cannabinoids that can make us feel stoned and get us high. And while that might be fine and legal in some places and not so legal elsewhere, it's problematic and can have some serious health consequences. Not to mention the fact that you shouldn't be driving or doing other things whilst under the influence of THC. So doTERRA searched long and hard in all kinds of different sources of CBD oils, and they could not find a single one that did not contain THC. So they started to widen their search, and that's when they came across Copaiba and discovered it was so rich in BCP, which is beta-caryophyllene, which is a different kind of cannabinoid that actually works even better with our bodies to help us on the physical level, but it doesn't have any THC or any of that same kind of effect of getting us high and feeling kind of out of it. So frankincense and Copaiba are two of the oils, probably the only two that I do this with regularly, like every day, if I come to think of it. And particularly for those of you who know me and followed my story and my Annus Horribilis this year, this was just on hand all the time, and I was just necking gallons of it through much of this past year. Now, it's quite viscous. It's a tree oil. It comes from a resin. It can take a while, especially if it's cold, to come out of the bottle, so you're kind of doing this neck stretch waiting for it to come. But when it comes, it's just instantly grounding. You just helps relax you. You just settle into yourself, into wherever you are, whatever you're doing. You're just like, and it just instantly takes me to the rainforest. I'm going to post a video below of how this oil is sourced in the Amazon and how it's tapped from these beautiful big trees in the Amazon, and it just instantly transports me. Never been, but how I imagine exactly the Amazon to taste and smell and feel. I can hear being in the Amazon. I can feel the the humidity in the air of the rainforest, you know, I can hear all the tropical birds and bugs and bees and leaves and mold, and it just smells and tastes of the rainforest floor as I imagine it. And that's so outerworldly, so wonderful when we're in lockdown, that I can just smell or taste these oils and be transported anywhere in the world that I want, whenever I want. It's just such a joy. So it's hugely beneficial for chronic inflammation, pain, emotional wellness, emotional inflammation. If you tend to suffer from anxiety, panic attacks, mood swings, you know, all of these kind of issues, Copaiba is so useful. So if you've been curious about CBD but had concerns about it for whatever reason, or you had bad reactions to CBD in the past, absolutely by all means try Copaiba. And even if you've never been interested in any of those, Copaiba, a wonderful, wonderful oil to have in your kit, and it's widely available now. It was so popular for quite a while. It was limited to 1 bottle per order per account, but now they've increased the supply. It's sustainably supplied, so that they've hired more people to go further into the forest to tap the resin from the trees in a sustainable way, so that the trees will carry on growing and can be tapped again in the future when they're ready. So Copaiba is a wonderful, wonderful oil. So emotionally, it's considered to be the oil of, hi Emma, of unveiling. It invites us to connect with our past. It offers a deep intertwining energy that links our experiences to each other to unveil their deeper meaning. It respects our need to shelter the things that we may feel shame about, our shadow side that we want to repress, that we feel guilty about. And it'll help to bring them into the light when we're ready to really process them, to grieve those, to feel the remorse, to feel the grief, and to find ways to make amends and move on beyond them. So it can really help us to find that vulnerability and bring self-awareness to our vulnerability, to reveal unresolved or hidden pain, to help us move out of feeling shame, blame, fear, self-loathing, all these kind of issues that can just circulate round and round and round, especially now when we're kind of stuck up with ourselves and nothing but ourselves day after day. This can really help you to move through those feelings and open you up to what is beyond them, and what the lesson is, and what you can take from that. So it will unveil that, and it will also, where we feel not good enough or unworthy, it can help us link to some kind of a higher power, right? All trees are incredibly grounding. I find this with all the tree oils. I've really been using tree oils so much this year. They're both incredibly grounding in the present time and place, and yet very uplifting, because obviously they're reaching for the sky and they go so high and so far, and they live so long and have such a longer lifespan than we do. They give us such perspective, a whole nother perspective on our brief lives, and they help us to know that there are other beings or higher beings or other entities out there that can help us to move through these emotions and move beyond this shadow of feeling unworthy and not good enough for whatever reason. Hi Naomi. And help remind us that there is other energies out there that will help reveal the message and the reason behind everything that may have happened in the past, and where it's going to take you in the future. and to know that you have always been treasured, no matter what, that you're always good enough, always will be accepted and worthy of love and so much more. Okay? It can help us to find peace with the past, basically. So, Copaiba, hugely powerful oil. Whew. Okay, after all that, I'm just going to have a quick little demonstration of a crow, how to use the aerial yoga sling to help you with your crow pose. Now the crow pose is something one of my party tricks I can kind of do anyway, so I'm just going to come down into a little froggy squat. Put your hands down, and then the trick is to push your knees into your elbows. And that will help you come forward. This is my son. I'm on a Facebook Live.
I'm going to have some ice cream.
Okay. So this is the crow pose. And the trick is to bring your feet off the floor so you can balance. And do it sideways so you can see. Okay, so that's the crow. If we're going to use the sling, it can help support us. So we can start in a different kind of plank where we've got the sling under our hips. Okay, so, and then we can bring our legs up. To walk forward a bit I have to walk forward to keep this under my hips. There we go. But then the sling's pulling me down. Here we go. You have to find the right distance from the anchor point to be able to balance, because otherwise the sling pulls you off balance. And then this, with a sling, this is a way to practice jumping to a plank from crow. See? So you can kind of build up a little bit of explosive energy to shoot your legs back into plank, but with the support of the sling. So that's, you can then come backwards and forwards, in and out of crow. So, it's a plank. Come into crow.
Big what if.
And then, woof, shoot back. I'm going to swing a bit. Now, we can also use it to help you in side crow. There we go. So, start off with my feet off the floor, swinging from my hips. Keep your hips at this angle and bring your shoulders or your hands to the floor. And then you can think about trying to bring your knees up to your elbow, which is a tricky one for me. Not actually ever attempted this before, and I wouldn't really dream of it if I didn't have a sling. So I can get my higher knee onto my elbow, but the trick will be to get my lower knee onto my elbow, which involves quite a big twist to get into the side crow position. So that's one high Kara for me to keep working on, but it's quite a strong upper body core practice, but it makes it so much more fun, and it gives me a safe way to even consider thinking about these poses, which I would just be so beyond me otherwise. So it just makes it quite fun, and it's a different way of practicing yoga in a fun and safe way when I'm here on my own without a teacher and just my book and you guys to spur me on. So if you're enjoying these videos, give me a wave and a thumbs up and a like, and leave me some comments. The next one will be coriander oil. Okay, so I hope you jump onto that coming up in a few moments. Bye, Naomi, Emma, Cara. See you soon. Bye.